What? Correct. 11-4.
Work at least 11 store time. Is another purchasing travel on the 9th floor.
We haven't.
Oh,
Yeah, hold on.
Any part, healthcare workers, council, and he board and I use the benefits support.
Lynn Hancock, Communications State Field.
Carol, those strategic planning, Julie Stein, Mrs. Becker.
Do you have any new members to be sworn in? Yeah, we should make contact. Joe?
Oh.
Stand up.
Please raise your right hand. Recognizing that the United Steelworkers is a strong labor organization dedicated to the advancement of my interests and the interests of all working men. And that the strength of the union depends on a commitment which its members make to it and to each other. I do sincerely promise of my own free will to abide by the laws of this union, to bear true allegiance to and keep inviolate the principles of the United Steelworkers, and never to discriminate against a fellow worker.
I do. Yeah, I was gonna say, is there women in there too?
You only added that.
It needs to be.
I do.
So in terms of my report for this month, a couple weeks ago, we sent out a survey for the New Horizons program. About over 30 members submitted responses, and based on that information, we've scheduled classes in Microsoft Word and Outlook for October, November. I don't have the particular dates in here, but I believe those were distributed via email a couple days ago. There wasn't really a critical mass to justify a class in the Microsoft Access, but if anyone is interested in pursuing a class in that, just let me know, and you can take a class in that through the tuition reimbursement program. And a course in Microsoft Excel will be scheduled in early 2016, so stay posted for that. We're doing a lot to really highlight educational opportunities for members in this local. We're trying to work out that we can get members to attend the organizing institute. We haven't settled that yet. Next Wednesday, on the 30th, we're going to have a conversation about organizing. If all of you remember, we had that dog and pony show of a meeting last year where they told us how important organizing was and how they're going to transform the union, and we haven't really seen much in the way of that happen. But Brother Jeff Check and Maria Soma from the organizing department are going to come in and talk about organizing, the importance it has for us, people who work for this union, that we continue to lose members like we are, that will start to have an impact on our wages, hours, and conditions. And most importantly, ways that the local can get involved in organizing is what we're going. So that's next Wednesday on the 30th at noon. The second floor conference room. There's one other item I don't have listed on here, but myself and Patrick have received a lot of comments and inquiries about this recently. So the steelworkers and a lot of other unions really championed the Affordable Care Act in 2009. But yet, under our insurance, our sisters in this union still have to pay co-pays for women's preventative care. Ryan, I know you spoke to me about this a couple of weeks ago.
Sure did.
So this came up in the last round of contract negotiations. I wasn't at the table, but I spoke with members of the bargaining committee, and the International's response was, listen, you have good health care. And we don't think we feel a need to change this because you're under a grandfather health plan anyway. So we can keep the plan as is. But we do feel this is an issue that's very important. We will bring it up with the international and continue to show that hypocrisy to them. Kimber?
You mentioned there's some degree of the transfer from one of those medications to another. I know we was regarding the six back and forth, but to get them to pay for it and for them to, well before we used to.
Jess?
I also wonder if it is possible to get, a detailed list of ways in which our policy is not used component. Just because a few things have come up that have been surprising, it's not just the 100%. So if we could get like very specific information.
I'd actually like to see a list of how, like, what are the other ways that we're complete and total hypocrites about preaching one thing and practicing another?
That's a long list.
I mean, let's get it truncated.
You're long enough.
I mean, like,
That's a Russian model.
I mean, we could start for the fact, you know, that we just had, you know, 2 members sworn in that were women that weren't necessarily even included in, you know, the wording of the language and what they were sworn in for. I mean, it's like, we got to start, honestly, like, going through every T and every I and make sure they're crossed and dotted and make sure that we are out here preaching the same things that we practice in-house. And we can start with this women's care issue. I mean, I know my wife was incensed about getting a $350 charge for something that the World Health Organization has indicated should be mandatory for all, you know, new mothers. I know that when I came to the Steelworkers, I felt empowered by what we said we were about. And the longer that I've been here, the more I've seen how bullshit that is. And it doesn't necessarily inspire me to go out into the streets and fight for what I believe is right, when I know that when I come into work, it's, you know, glazed over. So
That's where the separation of where we come from, and they're technically, they are natural.
and that's fine. And you know, and if that's the case, then so be it. But I know that moving forward, this should be something that we're getting away from. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to make the point that this is not covering, not waiving co-pays on preventive care. It was not an oversight. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't something that the international just like didn't realize they needed to check the box. Like, they had to call Highmark and tell them we don't want to do this. And then we proposed it, and we left it on the bargaining table up until the final offer. As you can remember, those of you who were around for a long time, you may remember there's a lot of shit on the bargaining table. It's kind of an ugly bargain, and many of us think it's a deal. So it wasn't probably the thing that was on the top of everybody's mind at that particular time. But the international sector argued that no, we shouldn't do this, and they also acknowledge that the cost increase was major. In some ways, hearing the outrage about this right now is really giving for me, because it's like you can have outrage about this a year ago, and now I hope that it's something that we can embarrass the international into complying with.
I was there just like to do that.
I second that.
I make a motion.
A motion to embarrass the international.
happily seconded.
But I think that Jess's idea of like let's just start by saying, you know, we can do it relatively innocuously and say send out an email to the entire membership saying we've had a lot of questions about what's covered and what's not. And here are the things that would be that would normally be covered under every single plan in this law that we advocated for and spent millions of dollars more resources to mobilize for and get passed, and they're not covered by our plan. We should just know that, and we discuss it. And you know, let's start from there and kind of spiral out about how we can actually get changed. We can start by listing those things out.
I think one other important point to include in that letter is that we are one of 2 organizations that opted out of women's care. I believe the other one is Equitable Gas. So just to keep that in perspective, like that's the company that we're in right now. Like this is the company in which we keep.
Guillermo?
My thought is that it's an issue that could be referred to our Women in Steel Committee and Hospice and Rights Committee. I think that if we were any other USW local and we were confronting this issue with our employer, I would want our Women in Steel Committee to make it clear to all the Women in Steel committees, all over the union, support us in this. And I think if we did that, it would be over.
Brian and I have already discussed it, it's on our agenda.
There's also some, sorry, I don't mean to speak. I was going to say there's some outside organizations that have become abreast of the situation as well. I know that the Midwife Center, you know, plans on writing a letter about it. You know, it's just, it's disgusting. I'm sorry. But, you know, in terms of healthcare in Pittsburgh, like I said, we're one of 2 organizations, and we should be the ones that are setting the bar for this kind of thing, not necessarily, you know, holding back the caboose on the train.
And I just said that as part of this plan that we are considering, we also filed an information request to pursue a possible agreements that ask for, and notes of meetings or internal documents that the international use in order to make their decision that this that was not important. So cost savings, the rationale, and what we were doing here also.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we would have to help whoever.
Really noted.
Yeah, I want to see it.
I was going to say, frankly, that's more insulting.
Well, what other studies did they consult? What other factors played in their decision? Did they say, well, we only have 14 women of reproductive age? We don't really give a fuck about them.
And I'd also like to know how many women were involved in that decision, if any.
Well, there were 2 women who did it during the discussion who.
We'll have one hell of an information. So, yeah, that they will ignore, and I'll have to remind them about it 4 times. Committee reports. Safety Health Committee.
I have. The Health and Safety Committee did not meet this month. We have a meeting scheduled for a couple of weeks in October. We do have a little bit of an update. The International has improved the usability of the wheelchair ramp out front by removing the threshold from the wheelchair ramp and concrete to create a gradual flat. And the Safety Committee is still not receiving information that was requested from the International and ABA accessibility study, nor on the print shop walkthrough by public safety. The 10th floor restrooms have yet to be approved for ambulatory accessibility, and we are still planning a lobby display of infectious chemicals and fragrances found in our everyday products that affect our health.
Women of Steel report.
The first thing is a reminder that we have a Women's Steel meeting October 13th on the ninth floor conference room, noon to 1. RJ, I'll send you a notice so you know that I'm closer to that time. We have a couple things going on. 3 gentlemen in Braddock, there's an on the spot session going on October 8th, and on the spot is all about high school, young women in high school who do not have sanitary products they need to go to school, which creates medical issues, health issues. They're having a auction, etc., in brown paper bag there on October 8th. Paulette is working on a backpack and snack pack collection, which is collecting so that kids don't go hungry over the weekends during the school session.
She's supposed to be having a flyer put together that we can pass out, and then she'll be collecting stuff on the 10th floor for that. Lisa already told you that the Women's Steel Conference is coming up in March. I'd like people to let us know if there's any interest, if who's interested, so that we can try to make a motion for who would like to attend and to have that covered. Paulette is also selling Women's Steel t-shirts for District 10. They're $10 a piece. And the only other thing we have is the CLU conference that's coming up that we were working on in conjunction with Civil Rights, and Civil Rights has a motion for that. And then
All right, rapid response.
So we had a meeting last week with some folks who were interested in talking around 10 hours. Just talked about kind of learning the education program. Is local 36 trying to get more inclusion in the state staff, and then we'll have a little bit more on it for actually functioning as a network that it wasn't any other local. We're stressing the importance of how lucky we are to have a local that has as much access to our members as we do, and I think sometimes we don't use that to our advantage as far as working out responsibilities. And we have locals that do everything they can to get to their members and run good programs. And this, to be honest, this local should be like a shining star of any program that, you know, whether with that response program that we have in the U.S. It's a little crazy that we're not. So we have kind of big plans to work on that and make that better. So next time, you know, it comes around, that everybody's looking up and seeing how they practice what they do. I talked to John about we're going to try to figure out the date for Becky, who is the district cleanup response coordinator, to have her come in and actually do a 2 to 4 hour training that we would do in any other local to map everything out and talk about ways that we can better communicate with our membership and do it this, like I said before, in any other local. So as soon as those dates become available, we'll let RJ know and let John know, and we'll work around work schedules. I know folks have a hard time getting out of lunch hours or getting that much time off. I'm more than happy to stay after work hours and do trainings with anybody that can't. And I know yours will be as well. Just to bring up the speed on a couple of things we're working on, we're kind of celebrating a couple of big wins this year lately. Is hard to say, because it's really getting the time. The big win in Missouri last week, right to work came up in the veto session. There were 13 votes from Missouri being a right to work state. We were able to defeat that. We had 4,000 out in the field, working our local and building program, and it ended up being a huge win. So we're very, very happy about that. There's a lot of state houses going on there. Another win in California, where we had some amendments removed from a bill that would have put some of our oil and gas workers out in the refinery. So that was a big win. Right now we're working in Ohio to garner some support for funding for a nuclear facility in Texas. That once again is getting this funding spot. We're looking at 600 to 800 jobs lost there. And it's currently not looking good, but we're doing what we can to get that funding shifted that way. We're having a little problem with, shockingly enough, the building trade.
Another anomaly.
Having worked in the crude oil export ban right now, I know all you guys have heard about that. What that means is if they lift the ban on the export of crude oil, that we have 63 refineries that we represent. So who's going to be the biggest buyer of crude oil if we say export it to China? So they're sure as hell not going to buy it from us and then ship it back to the refinery, right? They're going to build the refineries there, and we're going to have a lot of work out of that. On top of multiple other things, national security issues, all kinds of things here. So if you have not filled out a letter on the crude oil ban to your representative who asked you to do that, you're going to see a lot more action coming up there pretty soon. We're getting ready to take a vote on it. And we've noticed that a lot of our representatives didn't really understand what was going on. So once again, we have building trades, to be honest, in there saying so we need to make sure that we're touching it here. TPP is looming around the corner, fast track did pass. So what the benefit of what we did with the work on fast track is just push the trade negotiations down the line, which is excellent because eventually we've now pushed it into 2016 and what's happened in 2016. These elections, everybody gets seen without making big decisions, the same as trade agreement. So I think probably come November, December, January, we'll see a lot more work around that. And just to close, I can't stress again the importance of all of us being involved in these legislative issues that directly impact our members. Look, at the end of the day, that's who we work for. We're taking them into their jobs for thousands in the state increases. So we need to do everything that we can for them to make sure that the voices are being heard up on the call for some of those who maybe aren't able to do that.
PAC committee?
Actually, I do have a report, this needs to be. But I got the list from Sam Johnson of all our members that are on CAC. We got 3 new members to sign up. I actually haven't put out last week. I actually haven't gotten to go around to hit everybody else that's on the list. But I wanted to get with Carolyn so that instead of going back and hitting people on the list, so when they come in another meeting, if we have like the CAC committee have like 10 minutes to say what it's about, get them signed up right then and there so that you're not on that last list. So I'm going to work really hard for all the names that are on the blacklist, off the blacklist.
But signing a PAC card is not a condition of employment.
No, it's not.
List of. New member committee.
We had one recently that's kind of second, and I understand over 20 people participated from this.
I don't know the exact number, but it was about
20 people, including the board who transferred up in Nashville.
And a Secret Service. And the Secret Service. joined us.
Secret Service.
Oh, mine was like I said.
It was a big.
And I understand it's been well received and well discussed, people that participated, it was a great session. So I thank everybody who's coming, and I'm getting members who appear here. We need to do better to get 20 new members in our local meetings. So we'll work on that. Anything you want to add to those there? Anybody who's there?
Thank you. Organizing committees.
Yeah, I'll give that. And I guess Sandy did send a report this week. The organizing committee project is by action for the member group. The big thing that has been going on is obviously mobilizing to support the lockout at ATI and steel bargaining. They've been doing in conjunction with United, trips out to the picket lines, 8 times that are a little bit different than the times that make sense for people in the buildings. They've been doing delegations out there. We had a fundraiser on Labor Day where we raised $1,900 for the lockout. And the next back to Pittsburgh General Membership meeting is Monday, October 5th, downstairs in the conference room. It's 3 p.m. And one thing that I will say is those committees that are trying to shake down people for doing activities like faculty conference type of stuff. That's it. The demographic is people who like to go to things and do things. So a pretty fertile group to bother about doing things. Just a couple upcoming action announcements. Next Tuesday, there are 2 relatively interesting actions. One is Planned Parenthood rally at 11:45. I think it's in Market Square. I hope it wants everyone to still post. And the other is there's EPA hearing around the methane gas rule, something that EPA has come out in support of. Also on Tuesday morning at 10:15 at the Federal Building. So folks should go to that. on the fight back. And if you're not, you can get it. First Monday, never mind.
Bylaws committee. Carol Jen is not here. Okay, we'll report this month, civil and human rights. Doug, Guillermo.
We didn't meet, this month. But we did offer a report on the LACLA event that was, held, and, we want to share this, that when we originally came to the local to support for a full page ad, there was some people didn't, there was some people didn't know very much about the event or the unions involved, so that's why we shared this report. So, it was last Saturday, it was our second, annual Viva Clemente celebration this Heritage Month, where we honor the life and legacy of Roberto Clemente, first ever Latino inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, first ever Latino member of the Executive Board of the Baseball Players Association. This year's event was made possible by the generous support of the USW International, 1, 4, 10, 13, and Local 3667, as well as the Allegheny Central Labor Council, SEIU Healthcare PA, SEIU Local 668, Different Federation of Teachers, Advocacy Council 84, Pride of Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh CBTU, the Operating Engineers Local 66, and the Pennsylvania AFL-CIO. These are all unions, labor organizations that bought ads along with 3667. In the program book, if people want to see the program, it's really beautiful. And designed, alternative. It's got our beautiful ad, which is stunning, I'm going to say.
Thank you.
For designing that.
Appreciate that.
And we got tons of copies, so if anybody would like to see it. The event was held at the Roberto Clemente Museum in Pittsburgh, beautiful museum, private museum, that you otherwise would see except by appointment. In addition to being a cultural celebration with Latin American food, wine, life, dance, and music, the event also highlighted the work of Pittsburgh Lackland advocating for comprehensive immigration reform and combating wage theft. The event also served as a fundraiser for one of the Pittsburgh Latino community's most important nonprofit service providers, Casa San Jose. The nonprofit provides assistance to new Latin American immigrants with respect to jobs, housing, healthcare, and education. The event raised $15,000 for Casa San Jose. Thank the local again, that $800 up front will help us hold the space and do a lot of things. So I want to thank you again, and we'll be back again next year. Thank you.
Okay, fundraising, social committee.
Well, we had the picnic. I wasn't there. Thanks to Matt and Kurt, they took care of setting everything up. I just planned everything for them. And they did, and Paul and Julie, and everybody seemed to have a good time even though it rained again. Right? Yeah.
It's spread.
It's lovely. Yeah. But thank you.
No kids fell in the lake.
Yeah.
Or we're throwing. So our grievance chair is not here for the this month's meeting. She will be in town for next month's meeting. For the grievance report, though, we have reviewed on a couple. Now, 3 of those were over a settlement we reached with a member. Issues that had been long-standing. But I think we reached a pretty decent settlement for that member. We filed another one because they filled the job without posting it. They said, we'll post it, so they did. So that was our
We're solving problems here.
we'll see if they do it again next time a job comes up. And I wanted to say that the grievance committee has been very good. I'll say that. There are some issues going on in the building. We just had a discussion about this. We're seeing some discipline come down the pipe for things that folks didn't seem to have been disciplined for. A lot of like work performance and accountability issues.
Yeah.
we're at a point. Sure, you just, the discussion we just had is we're not sure if this is the new normal or if these are outliers. So for the time being, we're going to keep these issues within the grievance committee, but we are working on these to mitigate, reduce the impact it's having on our membership. So we just ask for your continued support and patience. I know a lot of folks feel like a lot of stuff is happening, we're not telling them. That's just because we've been keeping it within the committee. Now, we did talk earlier in the e-board meeting that we are going to have a meeting for the folks in the accounting department. Probably schedule that 2 weeks from now. On October, I think on Tuesday, October 6th, we'll have an email come out about that. We want to have a conversation with our members, particularly in the accounting department, on how we can improve working conditions there. Because as Patrick said earlier, it's to do that. And, it should not be that way for our members. So that's the report of the grievance committee. If you have any questions, please come to myself, Patrick, Doug Ward, Josh Kersey. We'll come to Patrick anyway. He serves at my pleasure.
Yeah.
Look at the bylaws. Jenny Kendall, in District 2, she's very good getting back to folks. So that's the and Eric Russell. Sorry. He's on the 7th floor. So that's the grievance committee. So that brings us to old business. We have the, I wasn't here for the last meeting, but a motion was made to send one member from the field and one member from the building to the Coalition of Labor Union Women Convention. I believe a Civil Rights Committee, Linda Steele, have reached an agreement on that.
Yeah, we had a sister in the field who wanted to attend.
Okay.
Sister Elizabeth is going to attend on behalf of the Civil Rights Committee.
Liz Lau and Mr.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
We didn't get any interest from the building.
We had a letter from District 10, support for local union 6996, units 12 and 14 to purchase canned litter receptacles. This was tabled for discussion.
I'll let you find out more.
All right, I will follow up. I think we'll follow up. Okay, new business. We have the call letter from the United Steelworkers International for the International Women's Conference, March 7th, 10th of 2016. It's at the Wyndham Grand, Pittsburgh. We have the executive board has decided to refer this to the Women of Steel Committee for further action. So, anything that anyone else wants to bring up? RJ.
I just want to direct everybody's attention to the communications survey report, which was on the table over there as you were coming in. If you didn't get a copy, hopefully there's still some over there, and if there aren't, I can give you one. But if you recall, a couple of months ago, you probably got an email or a handout that had a survey on it about our communication. I'm not going to go through the results. You can see them in front of you. But it did give us a good idea of how we're doing in terms of communication. Unfortunately, it's sort of a chicken and egg thing in that the people that we communicate best with are probably the ones who filled out the survey. So how do we communicate better with the ones that we're not communicating with already? And I guess that's the tough part. So I would say, those of you who are in this room listening to my voice or watching online, we probably already communicate well enough with you. But if there are people out there who we're not communicating well with, talk to me. We'll get you added to the email list, text list, get you to come to meetings, etc. But the best part of this, I think, are the suggestions on the bottom of the first page and the whole second page. There were a lot of good ideas, and I've shared this with the board, and hopefully we will we'll implement some of these ideas over the next weeks and months and continue to improve. And as far as email goes, there were a lot of issues brought up about people weren't getting emails, they were getting knocked off the list, this and that. We have switched to a new email system, so I'm hoping, it was about a month ago or so that we switched. I'm hoping over the past month that it's worked better. Again, if you're getting the emails, you probably are already here or watching. So, but if you know of anybody who's not getting them, we usually don't find out until somebody gets one, the person next to them doesn't get it, and they say, why didn't I get that? So it's hard to find out who's not getting it. But if you know of anybody, send them my way.
And mine's still going to my spam. How do I get it out?
I would bring that up with Lance. I could probably walk through it, but there's a lot of steps involved. And Lance might be the better person to do that. But, it is possible to go into your spam folder and designate certain emails or certain extensions to no longer go in there and instead be directly in your inbox. It's possible, it's just not easy to explain. Yeah.
Patrick?
Well, we have people here. I'm really curious about whether or not the new email system is getting emails into your inboxes and not in your spam filter. Is it working better for people?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was one of the people that would always get them in my spam filter, and whatever you did like 3 weeks ago totally fixed that for me.
Well, we switched from MailChimp program to the Action Network.
Right.
So that's really the change. Okay. And it was really Patrick's doing for most part.
Good job.
We're using international users, so get better.
Yeah.
Amber, then.
Sure.
I got an email yesterday from Anytime and the Behavior Trade Coalition. The local sign up for with the anti-TCP resolution recently. They're looking for surrounding Democratic committee members with the same. Anybody in the local on a Democratic committee? Me. Okay, they're basically looking for a community around the state to if anybody would have to think of anybody else, they're going to come to the committee, grab an email, and all.
So recently we just got new shirts, and I personally think that they are by far one of the better shirt designs that I've seen on a t-shirt recently.
Yeah.
Don, right?
Mhm.
He's wearing one right now. I don't know if everyone's seen it, but it's like the Star Wars kind of, parody.
Yeah.
So
I make a good billboard.
So Brittany had a hand in designing this shirt, and first and foremost, this is awesome. So great job, great work. So I was initially a little disappointed that we didn't have like the collared, microfiber old style shirts. Then I saw that and I was like, oh, I can't wait to rock that. And so I put a picture on my Instagram, which got shared to Facebook, and I literally was inundated with messages. Where can I get one of these? How can I get one of these? How much does it cost? And that said to me two things. One, we have a really hot product. And two, we have an opportunity to either A, make some cash, or B, make some money and donate it to maybe some folks on the line, or to maybe some of these folks that are locked out, so on and so forth. My one suggestion is a small design change. And I apologize for stepping on your toes, girl. But I know it's a little more expensive to have print on both the front and the back. And when you have something on the back, you lose a little bit of visibility. When I was in a band and we were putting up band t-shirts, this is one of the problems that we ran into. So I suggest that
stand up one more time.
Okay.
We take this,
Get him in front of the camera.
okay, put it on the front, and we take our logo and put it right here. So both of them are on the same side of the shirt. You could, and it looks like there's only two colors involved, our gold and then a standard white. So it's pretty cheap to print as far as I know. But we could sell these, $15, $20 a pop and put that money toward either the folks at ATI, whatever you guys want to do. I do suggest that we do a smaller run so that people might want them and couldn't necessarily get them, and then that makes them want them even more. And then you have the new Star Wars movie that's coming out in December. There's a lot of publicity going on around that. We could, literally have t-shirts flying out the door.
Anyone have business acumen to take on this project?
If somebody's going into the future buying and selling this sort of business, but I'm getting like inundated with requests about it. So you might not want to go to big companies that you want.
I said I saw the design for it. I just think that you can look for these and you can make a lot. Like, I don't know, he's a really good guy. Yeah, we do put on more hard come out of union workshops when we all US meetings. And they asked me to take over the solidarity still. Whenever I was coming back to confirm our local new lines, so I had already seen it. I was like, all right, I'm for sure.
I'd be interested in applying to someone within for reporting purposes. Very close back. Shipping costs, cost of changes. It could even be a break-even higher. Because we are buying and make t-shirts, their price for retail at a price that folks wouldn't typically pay.
Right.
I would say that even if it's a break-even, somebody should have a break together. Even if we don't
I don't-
know it,
I'm just saying that whoever's doing that, we're doing it. And probably a little bit more.
Does anyone wanna,
Kurt just left. Why
We
don't you
haven't
nominate
received
him?
the final.
We haven't received.
We haven't received the final invoice. It was around $3,000 for the shirts, but the shipping is a lot. Everything's overnight, so it's probably gonna be, I would say around 5.
Well, we wouldn't have to overnight them again, would we?
Yeah, the current cost at the amount that we bought from that, which is quite as much as the last time.
Sure.
But, can't pull up 25.
For sure.
28, 2,852 period altogether, without the shipping. The shipping in itself, I can't see going over 1,000, but if there's any close, just because it has to be overnight, so many boxes, I really can't see it being that much.
But there's also the cost.
Right, yeah.
So when I say 5, I'm incorporating all of that.
Gotcha.
The person who shipped them all, thank you, by the way. I'm gonna have to, the local's gonna have to make the whole.
So if we did do something on this where we, the end goal wasn't just to distribute shirts amongst the local, but to sell them to the general public, those individual buyers would incur that shipping cost then. So we could take that off the bottom line. Do you have a notion as to how much per piece that came out to?
I have everything.
Okay.
it sounds like Brian has a great idea, and I think you should run with the t-shirt committee.
Listen, I'd be happy to run with it. My experience with accounting comes down to like how many coins I've collected in Mario Brothers. So I might need some assistance on that. But in terms of actually getting the message out there, like setting up, for example, a sponsored Facebook post where friends of friends of friends see this, you know what I mean? I'd be happy to help with something like that.
Brian, I volunteer.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Well, that sounds good. RJ, then Joan?
Just one quick suggestion, that, you know, as, I think Josh, you were saying that because they're union made shirts, they may be more expensive than other people are willing to pay. But, if we're gonna donate money to some organization, once we collect the money, maybe people would be willing to pay more if they knew that it was going to us for the cost.
I agree.
So just a thought.
Sure.
Deborah Edwards in, Pension and Benefits sent me a message this morning. She wasn't gonna be able to come today, but she's wanted to know if there were any vacancies on any of the committees. And if there are committees that need bodies or even somebody with some expertise in pension or benefits, that, they should reach out.
Committee that need bodies, I think it's all of us. Yeah.
We're about that, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I have an idea. If you have a problem with the healthcare, you'd be willing to help us on
Yeah.
that.
That's a good idea.
She just said, let her know about maybe and vacancies.
Okay. Good and welfare, anybody have anything?
I just have, I talked directly about this morning, that we've all taken action in ATI and steel events that have gone on, but our local actually haven't done their own kind of action. And I would think it would be really cool if the local got together and had a trip out to one of the strike lines, or maybe we brought in a donation day where everybody brings in some kind of food, water, whatever, so that the local actually, our local actually does something for them.
Well, we did, just so you know, the picnic, because half the people didn't come because of rain. They took it to ATI in Brackenridge.
Yeah,
And the guy.
actually, yeah, all the leftover hot dogs
leftover hot
and
food and
food
everything.
from our picnic.
Yeah.
This afternoon at 4:15, people are meeting in the lobby, and a convoy or a caravan is going to ATI Washington, and 13 members from Cleveland Cliffs Bargaining Committee are joining us. Last week I went to ATI to Leechburg and Vandergrift. Our members are very appreciative. They like the support. They like seeing other steelworkers join them there. So please, I do encourage you all to go to this. This is the core of our union, and it's right in our own damn backyard. So please get out to the line, support our members.
In the vein of supporting the ATI struggle, want to put on everybody's radar, and you'll be getting more information on it soon, but on October 20th, ATI is reporting its third quarter earnings. And we have amassed several thousand petitions that we need to do something with at some point. So we're going to use we know that Harshman, the CEO, is going to be right over there, is going to be in the office that day. So we're going to do a delegation to try to meet with Mr. Harshman, like we had talked to the shareholders, on 8 a.m. on the 20th. We'll get you more details about that soon. Maybe we'll get up to date for, you can actually see like in their office.
So we need a motion to pay all bills. RJ, second by Susan. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? All right, we need a motion to adjourn. Patrick, a second. Joan, all those in favor? All right, have a good day, everyone.
I,